GM guys. GM guys. Um, let's do the sound check quickly. GM guys. Okay. GM. Everything sounds good. So let us start. Okay. Without wasting any more time, good morning, guys. Saikito here. And if you enjoy these reviews, please do let me know in the comments, and please subscribe to the channel as well. Yeah, so I'll really appreciate that. Okay, just letting everybody know on Instagram that I'm live. There we go. Okay, let's do the market review. There we go. Okay. So I'll start with Bitcoin, and let's go over this today's price action on Bitcoin. So sorry guys to always delay the start of these market reviews. It's just that I do them very late, and I have to do the sound check by myself, and also send the link to the live stream after opening the live stream. I can only get the link after, or maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, maybe I can get the link prior going live, I don't know, but I think I can only, for now at least, I think I can only get the link to the live video so I can share with everyone after the live is started. So the first few seconds are wasted. That's how they're wasted. Okay, on the 1 hour, well, just to look at the daily, well, I was still bearish going into today's trading, and my target was obviously this low, watching also this revisit of this consequent encroachment. As you can see, that's where price turned there. So going into today's trading, I was like looking for price to go below 60,000 on gold. Okay, I mean, sorry, on Bitcoin. And on 1 hour, this is the range that we're trading on. We have a swing high here. This high is higher than this one, and it's higher also than this one. So that's a swing high inside this imbalance. Swing high, swing low. At premium, we have this imbalance. So we revisited that imbalance, reclaiming it. And I was just watching how everything was unfolding on a 1 minute chart when that was happening inside that imbalance. So when we were reclaiming that imbalance, we took out that swing high right there, and we did a 3 drivers pattern going into that high right there. Wait, let's see, where are we now? Okay, let's go to yeah, there we go. So we do the 3 drivers pattern, 1 2 3, going all the way up to the relatively equal highs there. Okay, so we had this high relatively equal with some other high somewhere here. You'll see everything once I show you my lipstick and my executions on Bitcoin. So if you zoom in on the 1 minute, we had from 7 o'clock, we took out this low here at 7:45, and we did not have relatively equal lows here, but the bodies were showing some relatively equal lows. Okay, so that's a candidate to me. If you have bodies that are smooth like this, if you can just eyeball the bodies, they are relatively equal. Even though the wick here did that sweep, that was just to initiate this move, but we could still revisit those, and I like them going into today's trading. Actually, that's swing low because it's after 7:30. If you know, you know. Okay, so and then we extended the range. 9:30 we opened somewhere here, boom boom boom, filled the 15-minute fair value gap. There's a 15-minute fair value gap somewhere here, and then we went higher, further extending the range, taking out the pre-market range highs right there. And then I was watching, I actually sent a message on Discord when this Venom was formed. I actually like this to be my first presented fair value gap because it had a function of taking out the pre-market range highs right there. So I said, okay, this looks clean. We already have the Venom right there, and I wanted to just close below the opening price there, and I was going to be in for shorts. We did not get that, so it pushed one more time higher above this high, above that high, and then when it did that three drivers pattern, it retested the midnight open, and then it started falling. Let me just show you the annotations here real quick. So this is let's start off with the hourly chart. We had this reclaimed CB right there. The body stayed inside this inversion fair value gap. I actually liked that when this was happening, and we revisited that right there. Okay, I'm going to show you everything just in a second. And this is what I had this pre-market range sell side liquidity cleared, annotated, and then the rally obviously extending the range. 9:30 opens, it leaves this swing low, and it created this fair value gap with that swing low on the hourly chart. I like that. So we did not price any discount after this. We just shot all the way up to got the pre-market range highs here. This was 1, 2, and then we took out that. When we created the Venom, I just highlighted the Venom as my first presented fair value gap. I made that green. Second high taken out there, that, and then we purged, and also we also purged these relatively equal highs, so you can see how smooth this is, taking out that high that I pointed out on the hourly chart. And to me, this is confirmation enough. When we purged those highs, relatively equal highs, and then we did this change in the state of delivery with the three drivers put in, and we haven't not priced in that discount. I really like this sell side liquidity here, but I paper traded this because of, and also after closing bearish inside there, inside this inversion, there was weakness to me as well. So I went short right there when this candle closed. I went short. Let me show you my executions. I went short right here, stop loss above the swing high here, and then I just let it run. As soon as we closed below the Venom here, I trade my stop loss, and this candle here, this candle took me at break even, took me out at break even right there. And then after, because it was reclaiming this buy side here and retesting the midnight open, let me do this. Retested the midnight open here, and then it started dropping and it went all the way down to my top. So it had a ban of it. A very nice trade. More than two. Let me see where this is. Look at this. I was just afraid. Price action is the smoothest. The model delivered, guys. If you know, if you understand the sentiment, if you understand the narrative, the model always deliver. You need to just understand your model. Okay. Let's move on to gold. That's the one I did execute on my account. And let's big event, which is NFP. I do not trust a day prior NFP, guys. I do not use my full risk on my trade. If I decide to trade that day, I am very conservative in my with my risk, and today was one of those days. And even when it comes to my partial taking, I am very aggressive with it. So, looking at this range here on the previous live stream, after we remember, I think it was on Tuesday when I was kind of leaning bullish, and I wanted to trade from this fair value gap towards this high and that high relatively equal, and we did not get that. I said if we close bearish, and of which we did, we created this PPR here. I said I want to see this low taken out and maybe drop further towards this PC down here. And that's exactly what happened. It took out the low, but we haven't really reached that PC low. So we have relatively equal lows now. Today we rallied during London, and we made it to this CB again, to actually fully feeling that CB right there. Now I liked how this 4-hour candle opened, and it took out that previous 4-hour high inside that CB, and there was a 4-hour power of 3 open high, and I wanted to see a low made towards the relatively equal lows here pre-market with 7 o'clock. Sorry, these these smooth edges here at 7 o'clock, between 7, and I wanted to see it drop towards that to create the low. So I was trading that 4-hour power of 3. I don't normally call it that, but obviously this was external range liquidity, and I was targeting something that's internal to this 4-hour candle, which was the pre-market range lows here, and that was my $1 million model. And it was very easy for me to catch that trade. It just everything panned out perfectly, and these were my annotations. So when we took out that 4-hour high, it was actually a pre-market range high, as you can see here on the 1 minute. I'll zoom in just in a few seconds. And guys, the most important part of all of this, I haven't actually mentioned it, which is the calendar. We did not have any red folder news events, so we rely on the macros. So that's why I'm saying this trade was A plus, because the entry formed inside the macro, and my execution was inside that macro, and it was just a very nice drop towards my draw on liquidity after taking out that 4-hour high. So the 4-hour high, as you can see here, pre-market range buy side, external range liquidity, going back to internal range liquidity. And you can see that this pre-market range sell side on the 4-hour, it's internal to this previous hour. It's not below it. You know, I wasn't really looking for price to go that low. I didn't need it to go that low to previous hourly low, but that's what happened. I'm gonna show you why. This was the magnet below those relatively equal lows. That's why I actually had faith, but I did not have faith at the same time, but I had that faith because I trust my model. 1, 2. I like it when we are having relatively equal lows, just be above midnight open, and I'm bearish. That's a nice draw. That's a very good magnet. So I'm now going to show you my execution, and this was my execution, and this, you can see how aggressive I was uh, with my partial taking, because I was like, okay, I'm not gonna wait for the best case terminus here. I'm just gonna be very aggressive with it. But obviously you can see my final TP, it was just below these relatively equal lows. It was below those relatively equal lows right here, and it was a beautiful trade in the office. I mean, beautiful day in the office. But obviously I was not with the bootcamp members today. I was not with the bootcamp, and I was just by myself, you know, because I told the guys I'm not gonna trade today. But everything, when it unfolded like this, I actually liked how this is a very important part of this trade. How we closed bearish below this guy. I like that bearish close. In confirming this, or turning this BC, which was respected and pushed price to go above this buy side liquidity. These are the real true inversion fair value gaps, you know, that the ones that have a function and that the ones that were previously respected. Look at the bodies closing at the consequent encroachment right there. Here we came below, just below those lows here before the run. And look at how the high of this fair value gap was respected countless times here, and come back, and then boom. And then when we invalidate that at the right time of day, you know, I don't know, I don't know what more, like, I don't know what else, would you want, you know? And this draw here, because without the draw, this can happen and it won't mean nothing if you don't have if you don't know what you're aiming for. You know, these new traders, they always ask, I'm in a trade, bro, show me where to get off. How did you get in, bro? You need first the destination before you get in a car. And you know, so you can't just get in a car and ask me where do I get off if you don't have a destination. You have to have the destination first for you to have an entry, so that you can even have you know, like so you can know like the risk reward ratio, you know. So that's one way to spot a novice. Okay, guys, I hope this was insightful. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible. So if you enjoyed this, please do comment, leave a comment, and show me, I mean, tell me which other days you want me to review. I'm gonna upload yesterday's review. I'm just gonna re-record because it wasn't smooth, and I realized after I posted the video, and it was there for like 28 hours, and I watched it in the morning, and I was like, it was lagging so much I had to take it down. So I'm gonna re-record it after. I'm gonna review it again just after this video, so stay tuned. See you guys on the next one. Ciao ciao.